Welcome to the series where I teach you flash photography so you can be the most confident and competent wedding photographer yet. I want to start with our affirmations. Flash is not scary. I can learn anything. When I learn flash, I will be the most confident and competent wedding photographer yet. I can't wait to see the beautiful images I create when I learn flash. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, the only other number I want you to focus on is your spread of light. This is a number that's read in millimeters. So you might see 24 millimeters. That's a wide spread of light. Just like a wide angle lens is a 24 or a 28, that's a wide spread of light. You're asking the flash to spread it out. If you were to change that and make it the highest millimeter inside of the flash, for me, it's 105 millimeters. This is going to create more of a centralized beam of flashlight. Now, this is just a little bit more about aesthetics. I'm just gonna go with 24 millimeters because I want a wide spread of light. When we are talking about flash, it's very important to talk about the direction of the light because that will dramatically change the aesthetic of what you're creating. Right now, my flash is pointed up, which means that I'm bouncing the light off of whatever surface it's gonna hit first. Since I'm in a room with white ceilings, that's really awesome. You can always diffuse light and bounce it off of white ceilings and white walls really, really nicely. But most reception spaces do not have white walls or white ceilings. So you might opt for more of a direct flash kind of look. And that's amazing. I think as a wedding photographer, it is most helpful to have a diffuser like the Magnet Mod Mag Sphere, which is what you see here on the top of my rectangular flash. And the reason for this is it will take that harsh light of the flash and diffuse it in multiple directions and make it more aesthetically pleasing. This helps me in situations where I go into receptions and there isn't white walls or white ceilings. It allows me to still bounce light up and make it very aesthetic. Now, this is where camera equipment comes into play, and it directly connects to what the capability of your flash can do for you in reception spaces. I have invested in really good camera gear, including a prime zoom lens like the 28-70 f2. That starting aperture lets in more light. This means that my flash doesn't have to work as hard, and that means that I don't have to put my ISO too high. If your lens starts at a starting aperture of 4.0, that opening aperture is much smaller, which means it's letting in less light. You're going to need a higher ISO and a higher flash power in order to create a good, well-lit flash photo. That's not a bad thing. It's just something to keep in mind as I'm sharing different settings. This is the equipment I'm working with. I also do have a stack sensor inside of the R3, which does help to produce internal light inside of the camera. So I often do not need to push my ISO too terribly high.